couple years ago, Victor Wembanyama's highlights started hitting the internet and all over YouTube. And so when the San Antonio Spurs won the 2023 NBA draft lottery, we all knew what was about to happen, that Victor was going to be the number one pick going to the Spurs. And many said that it was a generational talent that we haven't seen in over 20 years, back to the 03 draft with LeBron James. So we're going to dive into some film and specifically going to look at 3 different areas of his game. One thing that I noticed when watching his film was his engagement on defense. A lot of young players, rookies especially, they're disengaged when they aren't guarding the ball, and they develop bad habits, laziness, standing up, ball watching, and Wembanyama does a pretty good job of staying engaged and active as an off-ball defender. The second thing we're going to notice is just his shot blocking ability and his ability to affect shots with his length. And then the third thing is just his offensive skill set for a guy his size. We've seen it over the last 15, 20 years, explosion of players at that size, and especially coming from Europe or outside the U.S. Their ability on the offensive side of the ball to do more than just post up, but be able to shoot the three and work off the bounce. So we're going to look at those 3 things. So let's dive into the film and see what we see. So as we roll the tape, I'm going to take a look first at this double ball screen, and Wemby's just going to pick and pop. Nice, smooth release for a guy his size and his age, just 19 years old. It's one thing I notice in his shooting. I like his footwork and the smoothness of his shot. Again, another similar, same game. First 2 makes are 3-point shots. Again, using them in his ball screen. And here's his ability to, now you see him pick and roll instead of pick and pop. So one more time, he's going to come up and set this ball screen. He's going to roll. I mean, you can just throw it up near the rim with a guy his size. So as a guard, you got to love playing with a player like Wemby who's got this type of length. Again, this is a little thing, but I really like it, which is off the defensive rebound. I know you've been watching, left-handed outlet pass, trailing the play. Then he's going to get into working off the bounce here. Again, his size allowing him to shoot over the top of defenders. I mean, this is a, 6'10", 7-foot defender he's shooting over the top of, and he's doing this off the bounce as a 7'4" guy. Starts here with, we'll go into some more defensive highlights later, but he contests the 3, and then he runs out. Again, more guards should do this. If you're a guard here and you see, if the defender is not looking at you, but your teammate is, like you see here, throw that. Not enough point guards or passers throw that pass. So just throw it. You're in the advantage. It's kind of like a quarterback and receiver in football. The defender doesn't see you. You can throw it back shoulder or throw it to a spot, and you get on the same page. So Wemby, just nice catch, easy finish, barely has to jump to dunk two-handed. And right here, you're just going to see him get screened into the post, setting a ball screen. Then he gets a double staggered back screen to post up, a little face-up game. Just shoot over the top. And this is a versatile player at a young age. Again, showing you the variety of ways in which he can operate and score. He'll get better at some of the details and the precision at which he operates. Okay, one more time here. You're going to see him roll into the post. Nice little job of locating the ball. Sneaks in behind, uses quickness, gather position. He doesn't rush. He lets his cutters get through. Can't really move the defender with his body here, so he just settles for an over-the-top, slight fade away in the post. Okay, really like what I see here, him getting out and running. You don't see him just jog. Right here, you see him dig in a little bit, sprint the floor. Teammate doesn't find him on the first look, gets the second look. Again, you can just throw it up to the rim and he'll go get it over most of his defenders. Letting the film roll here so we can get a look at several different clips. Right now, just looking at all of his scoring clips offensively. So now we're going to take a look at Wembanyama in transition. Again, a lot of different variety in how he can score and operate. Love the kick ahead pass here. Going to kick it to him in transition. Gets past the three-point line, one dribble. Gathers it over the top defender and one. And here we're going to see Wemby in transition again, and his ability to run the floor, catch, finish in the air. Pretty impressive play right here. Again, running, turns his back to the basket while he's facing the ball handler one more time here. And just this reverse finish. You know, you wouldn't call this elite athleticism by traditional or the way a lot of people describe athleticism, but it's a very athletic play to be able to turn your body, catch, finish, have the eye-hand coordination and the agility, mobility to do this. And this is a 19-year-old who's going to, get stronger and spend time with an NBA strength and conditioning staff and, learn how to be even more athletic, more explosive. So pretty impressive to see him do at this age. And here he is on a post up. And that's going to be hard to guard. Here he is in the mid post. Not bad defense here by Jabari Smith. Cuts him off. It's a 6'10 guy who's guarding him, who's got pretty good mobility himself. Very impressive. Obviously we're looking at just the shots he makes. So these are highlights, and so we're going to see what he does well. We will turn the tape towards some of the negative plays and the turnovers here as we go. Again, similar position. Mid-post, facing up. Just scoring over the top. Again, with his length, this is not a small player. This is a 6'10 guy he's going over the top of and finishing with contact. A little bit of deceptiveness here. He's going against Dillon Brooks. Let's roll this back. Physical defender. Dillon Brooks is going to try to use his strength against him. Right there, little fake spin move. Brooks gets off balance, creates that separation, and now he's able to get that shot off. That shows a level of maturity to use that against his defender. The defender is using the physicality and the strength, and all he does is going to make a quick spin, cause that separation, get him off balance, and then gets to his spot for an open look. Just a little high-low, gets the foul called here. Design play going against a little bit smaller of a player. They're going to flash Zach Collins into the high post. Wemby's going to raise up towards the high post. They make eye contact, going to spin off that seal, able to draw the foul. Similar high post action we saw a moment ago. Again, utilizing his strength, utilizing his height and length, and just going to tap it in with one hand. Shows pretty good eye-hand coordination on some of these lobs and these catches. Appears to have pretty good hands catching the ball. You don't always see that from bigs. Again, like the versatility that Wemby shows. Another baseline out of bounds play. Right here. Does what we call a little scrizzle move. Look at that, left-handed, high off the glass on the weak side shot blocker coming over. Well, it is Russell Westbrook, not necessarily a big-time shot blocker, but using that left hand's impressive finish as he falls out of bounds. Would love to see his rebound numbers be a little better. He's averaging about 7.5 rebounds a game. This is an area where you see him utilize, again, that length. Doesn't even have to jump, just reaches over his defender and gets his hand on it, keeps it alive, and then draws contact to get to the line. You ever feel like you're running on a hamster wheel as a coach and you're working really hard and doing it over and over and every day, but you're getting the same results and not going anywhere? That's why we created this free workshop just for you, where we'll unpack the 3 most common coaching mistakes that are made so that you can have more wins, more impact. So all you got to do is click the link here, and with it, you'll get a bonus retreat guide that you can use with your team that our own coach mentors use with their teams. So be sure to click the link and join us for this free workshop. We're going to take a few looks at some clips from the Suns game. Wemby and Kevin Durant matched up some here. Really nice come from behind win by the Spurs to come back from so far down. They're down by 19 here in the second quarter. Wembanyama is showing off his ability and his skills, ability to finish above defenders, ability to work off the face-up and the rip. Kevin Durant's going to close, which, by the way, this is a pretty poor closeout by KD. Not sure what he's doing here, but way off balance and just a blow-by. Easy finish over the top. Now the thing over these next 2 clips, just notice his footwork. He's going to step in there, a little bit of a left-right footwork one more time. He's coming, moving right to left. Going to get that plant foot down with that left foot, and then he's going to get on balance, pretty good balance on his shot. We're going to say a slight lean forward, but good balance. Now he's moving left to right into this shot. Just a simple fill. Left, right, shoots over the top of the defender. With Wemby's height, he's going to be able to shoot over the top of most players. They're not going to affect much on his shot. Talked about this earlier with Wemby working the offensive glass. Nice catch, works in traffic, gets the and one, finishing behind his head. This is a pretty simple, just baseline out of bounds. Don't love the defense here by Durant. It's a simple screen that we really don't need to switch, but he just gets hit on it clean, so they have to switch. And now I believe you've got a much smaller player in Grayson Allen closing out. One more time here. Let's roll it back a little further. So players, if you're watching this and you're Durant, you got to get into the body here of Wemby and make this screen. He gets screened way too easy. Really good defenders don't get screened real easy. You can get screened, but really good ones, they just don't get screened this easy. Durant's a better defender than this. Maybe it's early in the season and some habits aren't in place, but that's just way too easy. But back to Wemby. Nice little left-right 1-2 step footwork, mid-range, showing that touch. He's not shooting the 3 at a really high clip, but we're only 4 games in, shooting at about 26% from 3. This is, again, something that Wemby can do more of. Not to turn this into a killing Kevin Durant video, but right here, Durant never puts a body on him. So Wemby just crashes, gets inside, nobody puts a body on him. If you don't put a body on a 7'4" guy, this is what they're going to do. They're just going to go put back dunks on you all day. And this is a critical moment in the game. I was listening to the press conference of KD, who said a few nice things about Wemby. Also, they asked him, well, what happened? And it's like, NBA, we're playing against good teams. Well, when you're up 3 with less than 7 seconds left, all you got to do right here is get the rebound. And so if you're going to get the rebound, then you got to put bodies on people. You got to box out and go finish it. You get this rebound, game's probably over. Kevin Durant gets fouled. He hits 2 free throws, 5-point game with less than 7 seconds left. This game's over. Credit to Wemby, big putback dunk, and they go on to win the game. Now we're going to turn it to the defensive side of the ball and take a look at Wembanyama and what he does defensively to affect the game. And we'll show you him blocking some shots and affecting shots here starting out. Again, going back to the Phoenix game, right here, he's the help defender who comes over and just gets a block here. He's guarding Kevin Durant, as you can see. Devin Vassell is going to rotate over on the closeout, and then Wemby's the next rotation. He shows his hands on the initial catch by Grayson Allen, and then Allen goes ahead and shoots it. I guess he just doesn't recognize or realize the length that Wembanyama is. And when you see guys blocking perimeter shots, that's a sign of great length. I coached a kid a couple years ago who would get about 1 or 2 blocked threes a game at 6'7", but he had the wingspan of a 6'11". And when you can block shots from the perimeter, that says a lot about the deceptive length of that defender. Again, here he's isolated against Durant, one of the best offensive players of all time. And he's over here on an island. He does a nice job of contesting, making that a tough shot. This is the value of Wembanyama on defense. Right here, they're going to play a little drop coverage. And when you can play drop coverage and keep them in front like you see here, so you see this ball screen, Wembanyama is going to drop and play in space, going to keep the ball handler in front. And with this length, that allows him to still get out there and contest and block these shots. Very impressive. Okay, let's roll it back here. One thing I noticed just watching is the engagement that he has off ball. A lot of younger players, a lot of older players will do this where they just ball watch. You can see Wemby's head on a swivel. He's got 2 guys over here he's having to guard. We got 4 Spurs defenders out here on the perimeter with 3 Suns players. So watch Wemby, his head's on a swivel. He's seeing who's behind him. Now they've got back matched up. Right here they try to set a little pin screen. He's able to fight through it enough to get a contest. So again, watch him get set on the pin, and then he's able to get out there and contest that 3. Okay, right here in transition, Wemby's not sprinting back the way you'd like to see him sprint and get to what we call the line of the ball and get to where he can affect it, but he does get back eventually, able to reach in here and get a hand on Westbrook's dribble, and then immediately shows his hands, shows his length up high. Look at his feet are active, he's playing the drive, and he's making them shoot over the top of him. Again, a 7'4" guy, make you shoot over the top, that's good defense. Now this is a good closeout by Wembanyama. I like his engagement. He's down in his stance. Right here, you see the closeout. Nice closeout to force Covington off the line. Would love to see him recover here and stay with the play and not just get out of the play so his teammate doesn't have to come over, Zach Collins, to contest. But he does get back in there for rebounding, which is good to see. You'll notice he continues to use his length. He doesn't put his hands down. I like how he's got his hands out front, distracting and bothering the shooter. Underrated skill for players to use. Let's take a look at a few more clips here on the defensive end. Here the Spurs are going against the Clippers. You're going to see Wemby come off his defender up top, be a good help side defender to block this shot in the post up. Just being an engaged defender, not being lazy off the ball. Really like seeing that. And if you're Greg Popovich, I know you do too. Here he is in another drop coverage. Like the discipline to not leave his feet and just wall up and stay big. Not having to go for the big block. He absorbs the body contact at his chest and keeps his length in his arms out there to get the block shot. Okay, here's a transition play. Wemby's in the hole on defense. He contested the rim, and I love the second effort here, coming back for the second block. These are the type of plays that got to get you excited as a Spurs fan. Again, he challenges Jabari Smith at the rim, gets the ball. He doesn't stay out of the play, gets right back in it. Down here on the baseline, you see him here. He's going to recover with that second effort to get the second block. So we're just 4 games into the Victor Wembanyama career with the Spurs and his NBA career as a whole. And one thing you see with the Spurs is they've had experience with this going back to David Robinson and Tim Duncan. Popovich knows how to coach great players and coach big men. But Wembanyama is different than those two before him. He's got a different skill set. But with Popovich and that organization's wisdom and experience to bring him along is going to serve Wemby great. And when you listen to Wembanyama get interviewed, he talks about really wanting to be coached. And you see the Spurs build out their rosters over the years with a lot of non-American players who come in and buy into the team-first approach. And sometimes with American players who have been brought up in a system that coddles them some, that gives them everything they want, that they begin to feel themselves and they may not buy into the team first. And it's not fair to generalize across the board, but you do see that more, and that's why you see the Spurs build out their roster a little bit in a different way than other NBA teams. So I'm excited to see what Wembanyama can develop into not only this year, but in the coming years as he continues to get accustomed to the NBA game. So stay tuned.